it's Tina and I am back, and I am here with another makeup tutorial slash get ready with me video. This time I am using the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette. I used it before, but I think I only used a couple of shades from the palette. This time I'm going into more of an intricate look. I'm doing a smoky, well, semi-smoky look, to be honest. And I really love how this came out. I also used a little bit of color on the lower lash line, which I love to do to jazz up a simple look or a smoky look. I like to add just a pop of color on the lower lash line. And if you're afraid of color, this is the perfect way to incorporate color into your everyday looks. And I'm actually headed to an event for my mom, so this is a look that I would wear for a special occasion, a special event where I needed to look pulled together, but I wanted my makeup to last as well. And I incorporated some new products that I have been loving. So if you want to see how I got this look, then stay tuned and I'll talk to you soon. Hey there, guys! I'm starting off with a fresh face, and the first thing I'm going in with is a little skin prep. So I'm grabbing my La Prairie Skin Caviar Essence in Lotion along with my Vinalta Anti-Aging Formula Vitamin C Serum. And I'll just use a few drops of this product with the essence and lotion just to apply it all over my skin. And this is going to act as my moisturizer and sort of like a skin prep as well for the makeup products that we're going to apply. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows, and as usual I apply a primer to my brows just so the products are going to stay in place longer, they won't slip and slide around, and it will make them semi-waterproof. Now I'm going in with my brow pen, so this is the Urban Decay Brow Beater in the shade Neutral Dark, and I'm just going to outline the shape of my brows as usual and fill in any gaps and any sparse areas with the pencil. Once I have the shape down, I'll go in with my Dior All In Brow 3D Longwear Brow Contour Kit in the shade Brown, and I'll go between the two shades in the palette and work the product through my brows using my Paula Eye Definer brush. It's just a flat-topped brush, and this is great for applying the product and distributing it through the brow hairs as well as fading some of the harsh pencil lines out. Now I'll grab my eyeshadow primer. This is the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion, and I'll just apply that all over my lids to help prevent my eyeshadows from creasing throughout the night and throughout wear. Now I'm going to grab my Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. I have the shade Medium Dark Warm and Dark Neutral. I'm going to apply both these shades beneath my brows to help clean up the shape of my brows and also act as a highlight. And I'm going to blend them out using my Anastasia Beverly Hills number 18 concealer brush. And this just has a nice defined shape, so it helps to create that sharp outline underneath the brows that I like to have personally. And then I'll just blend the edges downwards onto my brow bone area. I'm going to grab my Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush as well to further help blend out this color and help remove some of the excess creaminess from this product. What I do as well is kind of blend a little bit of this upwards onto the start of my brow to help fade out the brow product so it looks a little bit more natural, if that makes sense. Now I'm grabbing the same concealer, I'm grabbing both shades again and applying it to my inner tear duct area because there is some darkness here that we need to eliminate. So I'm going to blend that out with my Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush again, and I'm also going to pull some of this onto my lid. It's going to act as our eyeshadow base, and I'm just blending some in my nose bridge area because I have some darkness, and I'll go in with a dampened beauty blender just to further blend out the creaminess of this concealer. Now to set everything in place and to act as my transition shade, I'm going to grab my M650 Cookie eyeshadow from Makeup Forever on my Eddie Funkhouser large crease brush, and I'm just going to buff that in the crease using windshield wiper motions. Again, this is going to act as our transition shade and help blend out the deeper shades in the crease. Now I'm going to grab this Smashbox eyeshadow. It is their Limitless 15-Hour Wear Cream Eyeshadow. This is the shade Stone. I'm grabbing this on an Eddie Funkhouser eyeshader brush, and I'm applying this just on the outer crease area and outer lid. I'm just going to blend the shade out. I'm not using too much of it. I'm just creating a base for the eyeshadows that we're going to put down later because we're going to use one of the shimmery shades in the Kat Von D palette, and I want to make sure this really sticks to the lid. I'm blending out the excess product now in the crease, making sure we don't have any harsh lines because with creams and liquids you can have harsh lines. So just make sure you clean off your brush and then blend out the edges. And now I'm grabbing the Kat Von D MetalMatte eyeshadow palette, which I've been loving. And I'm going in with the shade Tinsel. This is the shimmery shade that I mentioned. This guy can get flaky and can get all over the place. So putting down that cream base helps to hold it in place without it going all over the place. So I'm using the same eyeshadow brush from Funkhouser and just applying it directly over the cream base and then going back and forth and blending this out. And with using that cream base, I really didn't have any fallout or any issues with this shade sitting on my eyelids and really sticking in place. Apparently, I'm really happy about it. So I'm just going to go around the edges of that shade now just to make sure that we blend out those harsh lines. Now I'm going back into the palette and I'm grabbing this matte deep charcoal gray shade. This is Stone. I'm grabbing it on a J5523 blending brush from Hakuhodo. I'm just going to blend this in the outer V and outer crease area. Just patting it into place and then blending the color upwards. And I'm just building up as we go. I'm not going in intensely at first. I'm just building up the color because I wanted to see what kind of intensity we were getting. And who says these shades don't blend together well? Like, what? Don't you see blending here? Yeah, don't trust what you hear sometimes. Sometimes you have to try it out for yourself. So these matte shades do blend in perfectly with the shimmer shades. I had no issues whatsoever. Now I'm going back to the palette. I'm grabbing the matte black. This is the shade Jet. And I'm just picking up very little of the shade because I still want it to be like a smoky gray charcoal look. I don't want it to be overtaken by the black. So I'm using very little of the black just to deepen up that gray shade. And I'm very lightly building that up as we go. And then I'll turn my brush to the side and blend it out. I'm grabbing the Funkhouser large crease brush that we used before and going around the edge of that darker shade. And because we have the blending crease shade in the crease and we have the shade also on the brush, it will help to blend it out even more. Going back into the palette, I'm going to grab the shade Suede Bone on a flat shader brush, and I'm just mixing these two shades together to give me a light ivory shade that matches my skin tone a little bit better. It's not going to match my skin tone. It's just going to be a lighter shade that goes better with my skin tone than the pure ivy. It gives me more of a beigey shade. And I'm just going to blend out the edges of that color using the Funkhouser brush again. This brush is really great for helping to just diffuse and blend out edges of colors. Now going back into the Tinsel shade because I think I lost a little bit of it through all that blending. So I'm just tapping a little bit of it on the center of my lid again. Now I'm going in with this skin base. This is the Josie Maran Surreal Skin Argan Finishing Balm. And I'm just going to apply this to my skin. This is going to act as a primer. And I am in love with this product. It smooths my pores out. It looks so great with foundation. My skin looks so flawless. I can't even stand it. It looks so good. I'm grabbing the Stila Stay All Day foundation in the shade Tan. This is a new foundation that I am trying out. I got it during the Stila sale, so I'm testing it out to see how I like it. And so far, the shade seems to be a good match. Stila doesn't really have an extensive selection of shades. They don't really go extra deep. So I was skeptical about the shade match, but this shade actually matches me pretty well. I'm using my Marc Jacobs The Face 3 brush just to blend this out. I'm making sure I get along my hairline because the color can be a little bit too light, as you can see when I get to my forehead. So I want to make sure that I really blend along my hairline so it blends in with my skin, and I'll blend it down onto my neck as well. Now I'm grabbing the Urban Decay concealers again, the same two shades that we were using before, and I'm applying them directly beneath my eyes. I'm going to blend them together to create a brightening effect as well as a natural effect. So I mixed the lighter shade with the darker shade. Some people would just use the light shade. Not saying that that's wrong, but I don't like how that looks on me because it's just far too intense for me. So I'm blending this out using a dampened beauty blender. This is the Professional Beauty Blender. I really like this one. This is the black one, and I don't know. I just love this beauty blender. Anyway, I'm tapping that out under my eyes, and you see it does cover my dark circles. It makes my skin look flawless, but it doesn't look overdone. And I'll just blend out the edges using the foundation brush that we used before. Now I'm going to grab some loose powder. This is the La Prairie Cellular Treatment Loose Powder, and I use the shade Translucent 2. And I'm just going to buff that over my skin using this large, really soft brush, but no. That wasn't working out, so I grabbed the damp beauty blender and just tapped this powder underneath my eyes to set that concealer in place. And that's also going to help to brighten up the concealer and add a flawless finish to my skin. Now I'll go ahead and grab my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in the shade Perversion just to line my lower waterline to tie together the look. And if you have smaller eyes, you may want to skip this, but I always line my eyes with a dark black pencil. Going back into the palette, I'm going to grab the matte dark green shade, which is Moss, on a MAC 242 small shader brush and apply that to the lower lash line area. And we're going to blend out the edges of that black pencil too, which is going to help to make that color a little darker and a little smokier. I love applying my lower waterline liner and then mixing it in with the lower lash line color. It really gives a beautiful smoky effect. And I decided that wasn't enough, so I'm going to go in with the shade What from the palette, which is one of the shimmery shades, on the same brush and apply it to the lower lash line. And look at that intensity. That is so pretty. I really love how the shade just grabbed on. It didn't take much. It just really looks intense on that lower lash line. But we'll go in with a fluffy blending brush just to blend out the edges of the color so it's not so intense. I mean, we want color, but we don't want it to be too crazy. So just blend out the edges. Now I'll go in with my highlight color. This is Mirage Eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. And I'm grabbing that on a MAC 252 large shader brush. My favorite highlight shade of the moment for my brows. It is not a shimmery shade, but it's not a flat matte. It does have a little glow to it, and I love that color for my brows. Now I'm going in with some mascara primer. This is the L'Oreal Mascara Primer. I'm just applying that to my lashes to add some fullness. Really didn't need to do this because I am going to apply lashes, but doesn't matter. We press on. Going in with my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, because what else would I be using? That is my go-to mascara. It is my favorite all-time mascara, and I haven't found one to replace it as yet. And I'm going to grab my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara, another one of my favorites, just to apply to my lower lashes to make sure those lashes stand out against the lower lash line. For my powder, I'm going to set everything in place using my Urban Decay Foundation Powder. And I'm just going to tap that over my skin. And this sponge, you may be like, what sponge is that? This is the Makeup Forever Angled Sponge. I love this sponge for applying powder. It really presses it into the skin and makes it look flawless. And then I'll just buff away the excess using my Tarte Powder Player Brush. Now I'm going in with my RIMMEL Contour Trio. I'm grabbing the contour shade. This is the deepest trio. I'm just applying that to the hollows of my cheeks using my Marc Jacobs The Face. I think this is the shape brush. Yes, that's what it is. I just blend it out, and that was a storm, and I'm like, what the heck? It started pouring rain outside, guys. Anyway, going in with my my lashes, I'm going to use the Studio Effects lashes from Ardell. These are the Demi Wispies with the extra oomph. And I'm just going to apply those to my lash line area. And that storm was so distracting, guys. I was like, what is going on? But anyway, I'm going to set my brows in place using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And those brows were set in. Look how great my brows look. Oh my God. Those brows actually look pretty good. I'm going to grab my blush from MAC. This is the shade Pepper. It's a really beautiful pop of color, but it's still kind of subtle at the same time. And I'm just going to blend that over my cheeks using my Zoeva blush brush. I really love how subtle but still banging this blush was. Now I'm going in with this color from MAC. This is a highlight shade. It's one of their extra dimension skin finishes in the shade Beamin' Blush. And I'm going to buff that on my cheeks using my highlighter diffuser brush from Urban Decay. I didn't really love how that color looked. It wasn't really my favorite color. So I'm going to grab the Highly Logical powder from MAC. This is from the Star Trek collection. And buff it over my cheeks instead because I prefer the glow that gives over the recent one, the extra dimension skin finish one. Why am I stuttering? Now we're going to just blend that all out with that large soft powder brush that I mentioned before. I'm going to apply some bronzer to my hairline because I wanted to make sure that the foundation didn't really stick out on my hairline area. So I'm just grabbing Casino Bronzer from NARS and just popping that on with a Tom Ford brush. Now for my favorite lip color of all time. No, I'm lying. This is my favorite red lip color. This is from Jouer. It's one of their lip creams. It's the shade Cabernet. I have found my perfect deep red lip, guys. This is such a fantastic red shade. I love it, and it's perfect for holidays because it's so bold and in your face, but it's not too bright and cherry red. It's just a deep, not even a deep wine red. It's just a bold, intense red. And I'm applying that directly from the tube, then going in with a lip brush. This is a lip brush from Smith Cosmetics, and I'm just making sure I create a nice sharp edge to this lip color because red can go 0 to 100 real quick. So I'm just crisping up the line and cleaning up the shape because I think I went all over the place with this lip color. And then once I have the shape down, I'll just go in with another layer to make sure we have full opacity and this color sets in place, and they layer up really well. Now here is the completed look. I love this look, guys. It's so simple. It's actually a perfect holiday look. And I love this palette and how the colors blended together. I got such a beautiful result from these shades. And that shimmery shade Tinsel is one of the most difficult shimmer shades in the palette. So you know the other ones will work just fine. And I just love how this entire look came out, and it went with my dress perfectly. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this get ready with me video. This look is a really simple look, but it has a bit of oomph to it. So it's still eye-catching, but it's very simple to achieve. And if you have this palette, pull it out and test it out. See if you can recreate this look. And if you do, definitely tag me on Instagram or Twitter so I can see your recreations. But it's a very simple look, and I use a ton of products that I've been really loving. And you know, when I incorporate products in my Get Ready With Me videos, when I'm actually going to a special event, these are products that I actually truly enjoy, and I'm not just like selling them to you like an infomercial. These are products that I actually use in my everyday life. These are products that I use for special occasions, going to work. So you know I'm not just here selling you a product or pushing a product just because I want some kickback. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As usual, I'll leave a full list of products down below in the description box with links to where you can find them as well as links to my Instagram and Twitter page where you can follow me along. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye guys.